Hi there, everybody, and welcome to Roll with Advantage. Very excited to be here for tonight's episode of the Tales of Evrand. Let's roll the intro and dive in. Ba-da-da-da.
Welcome you to the world of Evrand.
The Seekers of Insanity.
I told you to leave me alone. I could do this.
I wanted us to live and I wanted him dead.
I am so happy to see you.
Every party needs a pooper.
Raise the blade!
John, are you having fun?
I would like to welcome you to the...
I understand.
Hello, we're back.
Ribs.
Reebs.
Welcome back to the Tales of Evrand in the year 2024.
Yay!
Woo.
First session of the year.
Wow.
This is
let's
the
just-
third year.
Is it really? Anyways, let's dive right into the game and start off with summary. And this week on summary is Joe as Rian. As Rian, right?
Yeah, as Rian. Yeah, I
Okay,
didn't
all right,
fucking
as
take a
Rian.
cop out.
All right, no Mad Libs. Go ahead.
After our battle with Umbraxicor, we found ourselves in conversations with Merithil about the future of the Sapphire Chalice, which he intends to rebuild. He offered to become our manager, but it was politely declined. Our journey is already filled with so many countless tasks and adventures, we feel as though we might be doing him a disservice to join in his company in that way. A more somber moment followed that, as I hear Gideon discussed matters of respect with the Queen of Eastvaria, taking into account the aftermath of Oberyn and Umbraxicor. Meanwhile, at the keep, I sought Gideon's expertise for a potion to ease my back pain. Unbeknownst to him, Enid, hidden from sight, playfully tampered with Gideon's concoctions, causing harmless but startling reactions. Once we were discovered, it led to a chase involving Gideon pursuing both Enid and I. Several conversations took place that next day. Yrsa and Enid discussing the Feywild in the Moon Court, followed by Enid talking to Moon about her frustrations about their situation and a desire to act. The final conversation took place at dinner, with Enid and Basil making their relationship official to the entire group. I find young love heartwarming. It's very nice to see both of them happy. Yrsa then decided to add a little bit of spice to dinner, or I guess I should say sugar, as we were all pranked, involving a communion with the bees, resulting in an amusing yet sticky situation, where all of us were, including herself, which I don't think Yrsa quite understands how pranks are supposed to work, doused in honey and feathers, making us all chickens. And I think Gak put it most eloquently, cock-a-dee-dee-doo. Yeah! However, in the night that followed, my dream, I initially thought that perhaps the remnants of Ishna were still embedded into my soul, that I was about to be tormented by them. Tormenting was come, but it was not from Ishna, as it took an unexpected turn when Gideon revealed himself in my dream. The two of us swatted back and forth, this debate of wills, till eventually I awoke to a room littered with chicken eggs, which, although I tried very hard, I inadvertently crushed so many of those poor eggs. Gideon, ever the artist, was ready to immortalize the scene with an canvas and inks upon my exit from the room. In my quest for retribution, I enlisted the help of Bartholomew, a slug, one of nature's most esteemed custodians, along with Yrsa and Enid to help clean the mess in my room. Now, as I remember these moments, and as I write in this journal, I make a solemn vow. This war that has started, it will end one day, and it will end in a victory for me and my companions as I enlist the help of Yrsa and her bees, me and my slugs, and Enid and whatever animal companion Enid will make parley with. I swear this and this alone. Our war will rival the intensity of the blood war in Avernus. I jest. Our travels took us from Siri to the city of Janu, and ultimately to Al Sha'am. Here we learned of the Magi Magistrate, stringent rules of the use of magic. As we settled into Al Sha'am, we all decided to split up and gather information, each of us preparing for the unfolding chapters of our journey. We decided to stay at the Nibbling Nibbler Tavern.
The Nibbly Fish.
The Nibbly Fish, so we can get our cuticles cleaned while we eat seafood. Kind of cruel, using them for a tool in one area and shoving them down your colon.
I never said they serve seafood.
Oh, okay. Okay, so we're going to stay at that tavern, and then we're going to explore the city for more things to do. Over and out. Journal. That's it.
Thank you,
You're welcome.
Joe / Rianne, for that beautiful, beautiful summary. As we dive back into the game, we're going to start off a little bit different than we normally do. As was stated in the summary, all of you have found a tavern nearby in Sailor's Run, known as the Nibbly Fish, a section of the tavern that allows you to dip your feet into a goldfish pond as you enjoy the luxuries of, I don't know what the actual word of it is called, but everyone knows what I'm talking about. You get room and board. How many rooms are you guys getting?
How many we want?
We have enough. How much money are the rooms? I mean, we have enough that we could get one for everybody, but
I feel like
they're
one
5 gold a piece for one room. You can get a suite that could probably put all you guys up for a couple nights if you spend 150 gold.
I think the suite is the way to go, because I think us being alone is a bad idea.
Yes.
Yeah.
Rian is also scared of the dark, so this way he can sleep with all of his friends.
Right, and that's why he and yourself should cuddle. They should spoon.
Everyone's in the suite but your son, Rian.
So they
In the
can.
other room. Okay. So you do meet the tavern owner, Azur, a Air Genasi, who greets all of you and takes your money, and gives you a key to the suite that is in the Nibbly Fish. You can see that there's all walks of life throughout this city. Through every section that you've gone to, which is only 2 so far, you've seen people that you've never seen in Nefera. You have seen what looks like, Gak, for you, you've seen multiple Goliaths walking around. You also see these individuals with pale white skin and bright white eyes. History check for you guys.
I'll actually roll one for Gak this time. He might know.
Wow, it's been so long since I played D&D that I didn't even have D&D Beyond pulled up.
Yeah,
Which is funny.
Run it.
I pulled it up for Kayla, but I did not pull it up for myself.
Appreciate it.
History. Ooh, not very smart.
Neither is Enid.
Mine didn't come through, but I rolled a 12.
History.
I rolled a 3 minus 1, minus 2.
Oh.
Rian, with a 14, you would kind of remember stories told, and honestly, these stories were not in northern parts of Siri. They are told to scare children, of the changelings who can turn into anybody they want to, and there have been very notable changelings in history and of people who have used or changelings who have used their abilities for bad. But you know that most of them are just rumors. A lot of them are just rumors, but it's odd to see them just kind of walking around. You see hobgoblins. You see even bird-like figures that don't seem to talk but mimic other individuals, known as Kenku. You see elves, dwarves, humans, all walks of life throughout this city. All walks. As you settle down into your tavern and head out, I believe the party's splitting into different groups.
Yep.
I think so.
Okay. So I'll ask Rian, where are you headed?
I would like to go to the library.
Okay. Anybody accompanying Rian to the library?
Which library?
Of Ioun.
Yes.
Ooh.
Nice.
Okay.
Wait, where's everyone else going? I didn't know we were going different places.
Well,
Wherever you'd like to go, Queen.
Oh.
Well, I didn't know if Basil was gonna go to the Raven Queen temple, because Ina was gonna go with her if that's where Basil's going.
Yeah, I think Basil kind of feels kind of lost right now. She'd be walking around and doing like that weird thing where she's literally right by Raven's crest and, you know, kind of eyeing the entryway that goes into there and just kind of looking at carts or stalls around it, maybe walking to the other side, looking back through. You can tell that she wants to go in, but there's something stopping her. So
Okay.
she's probably around like right here.
I'll say that Yursa went with Gak and Rian, so kind of seeing the look on Basil's face and then looking to Enid might be better. So she'll go to the library with them.
okay. So Rian, Gak, and Yursa are heading to the library of Ioun. Jeez, I can't speak. And because it is such a large city and you've never been into it, you can see that there are these statues of sphinxes. You see one that is kind of talking to people as they ask for directions. The statue just responds as you walk up to one of them, and it tells you the direction of where the library of Ioun is, which is known as Sage Haven. You start walking there as Enid and Basil are right outside Raven's Crest. Gideon does, in fact, say to all of you and say, I'm going to head to the Temple of Morden. They have an Artificer's Guild. I'll meet up back with you later.
You'll be safe.
And he heads off. So, we will go first to Basil and Enid. Basil, looking into Raven's Crest, it's odd. There in Nefera is not a lot of iconography, worship of the Raven Queen. A lot of people see the Raven Queen as something they want to avoid at all costs. The goddess of death is something that a lot of people will not worship because of the fear of death and what it represents, the end of life. As you're looking into Raven's Crest, a lot of the iconography and the buildings, you expected it to be dark and a little intimidating, like a lot of the stuff you see overseas. However, here, a lot of the coloration is whites and grays and some dark colors, but you can tell just by looking into the buildings, it's more of a celebration of the passing of death, the celebration of life transitioning into the other side. You can tell the Raven's Crest is not, it's eerily different than anything you've seen worshiping the Raven Queen. And you can see a sanctuary very far off in the distance that has Gothic undertones and architecture, very far in the distance, but you have to walk the Raisin's Crest to get there.
She's gonna stand right and like quote the entryway of Raven's Crest. And just kind of stare over at it because she's never seen anything this big, like you said, or anything so grand dedicated to the Raven Queen. She's pretty much been the only person she's really known to serve her. Thinking like Shradina, there was a place that she went to that had a couple clerics of the Raven Queen, but that's it. And just seeing all of these buildings and like people walking around, she's kind of awestruck a little bit, but nervous to walk inside.
Would you say that Enid and Basil walked together? Is this like a thing that you think Basil went on her own and Enid runs into her?
I think it'd be something like if Enid were to say like, hey, do you want to walk together? Basil would say yeah.
Okay, so as like Basil like kind of stops and takes it in, Enid will say, well, what do you think?
I've never seen anything like this. It's a lot to take in.
Well, I guess we can start exploring, you know? Just kind of see the differences. I mean, I didn't spend a lot of time. Actually, I can't think of a single time I've been into a Raven Queen temple. So.
I've only been in one once. Yeah, we can start at the temple, maybe?
Yeah, just show me what to do. I don't.
If I'm being honest, I'm not quite sure of the customs either. This will be kind of a new experience for both of us, which I will kindly ask you to hold my hand because I'm really nervous.
Yeah, and she'll take her hand and say, don't be nervous.
Okay.
You know more than me, so I can be the real dumbass and ask most of the questions, okay?
As you say that, Basil kind of goes back to that talk that she had with her mom, who was like, why are you even following me? Do you know anything about me? Do you know anything about this religion? And, you know, Basil kind of fell into it. She wasn't really a believer or follower of the gods, and this is just the first one that really spoke to her. So you can kind of see the hesitation on her face. You know, there's worry and guilt and all of that stuff. So definitely not confident. Mm-hmm. But she'll make her way to the Raven Queen temple.
Okay. As you walk through, you are wearing that new armor that Gideon gave you, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Looking super badass.
You do get not looks of like you see some people kind of like look at you and nod their head and like bow a little bit, seeing that you are a devout follower of the Raven Queen, at least from what they see on the outside. You can also see that there are perches throughout this little street where ravens are in fact just kind of perched on top, looking over, flying from perch to perch, almost like an owlery, except for ravens.
That's cute.
And again, as you walk through, it's peaceful. It's beautiful. You can see tapestries of depictions of the start of someone's life. It seems like these little paper cutouts that are strung up on strings across buildings. It looks like the start of a life and the evolution of the person's life, and then into like the arms of what looks to be a figure of the Raven Queen. These banners strung throughout. And eventually you start to look and peer towards the sanctuary. You did get the full name. It's not just the Temple of the Raven Queen. They refer to this place as Vale Cross. And you can see that the depiction of the sanctuary is large gothical shapes with these very pointy tops, very obsidian colors. However, a lot of the, if not all of the windows you can see are colorful. Beautiful blues and purples and pinks and yellows depicting flowers and what you would see like funeral arrangements, but all kinds of flowers. And in the very center, you can see a large stained glass window that depicts a woman in flowing white robes, long black hair. But a normal depiction of the Raven Queen is dark clothing and a white porcelain mask. You see a regular woman's face. And you see something that looks like this.
That's so pretty.
Ooh.
I like how they like humanized her.
As you get closer, you can see the doors are open. People are coming in and out. And as you walk in, stepping up the large staircase, you walk into a cathedral with a large mirror-like pond in the center with a fountain-like flower vase. You can see that the walls are lined with black paint that have gold writing on that seems maybe it's for all of the people that have been buried at the cemetery here. But in the very dead center, you can see another depiction of what is the Raven Queen in white flowing robes, but this time she has very, very pale white hair, and there's a depiction of flowers behind her. You see this.
So
As you
many
walk in,
flowers.
Basil, it is very serene. You've never seen the Raven Queen depicted like this or worshipped like this. It's like a whole different god. But you walk in and you hear silence. The small whispers of people that are looking to the names on the walls or sitting by the fountain in the gardens, whispering to themselves prayers to the Raven Queen. You can also see individuals walking around in robes of black and white. A lot of them look to be holding a wooden staff with a single pale translucent crystal on top. All of their garments have some sort of raven feathers intertwined into them. You can tell that these are the clergy. But you are in the Temple of the Raven Queen. What would you like to do?
After Basil kind of takes all of this in, she'll probably go up to one of the clergy women people.
The closest individual you see is a male with very, very, very pale gray skin. Not white skin like the changelings you saw before. It is pure gray, and his hair matches his skin tone. You can see these small tattoos across his cheeks and eyes, and you can see his pointed ears as he looks to you and goes, "Hello, my child. How may I help you?"
Hi, my name is Basil, and this is Enid.
Hello.
Hello.
This is my second time in a Raven's Queen temple, and this is drastically different than the first one I've been to. I don't know if you get that a lot.
We do indeed, especially from those who come overseas. You must have been to one in Ephira.
Yes, it was. I mean, compared to this, it's pretty depressing, actually.
the depiction and worship of the goddess is different among various cultures. I'm sorry, you told me your names, but I did not tell you mine. My name is Evrand. I am the High Priest.
How do you spell that, John?
Eravahn.
And what did you say he was?
The High Priest.
The High Priest. Well, it's very nice to meet you.
As it is you. So what brings you to our temple today?
I'm a follower of the Raven Queen. And I have been informed that I should know more about what it means to follow her. I guess on a religious level and not so much an interpersonal level.
I see. If I may ask a question, what brought you to her in the first place?
You might find it silly. I was never one to follow the gods. For the longest time, I thought that they had given up on us, that they didn't care. So I was never interested in believing in any of them or following any religion. But one day, when I was just a child, adolescent, I got into some trouble with some adults. And there was no way I could have protected myself. And it definitely looked like I was going to lose. And then all of a sudden, I just felt this immense pressure wash through me. And I've never felt so powerful in my life than I did in that moment. And it feels like a blur now, and it's hard to fully remember. But just this light shot out of my hand. And that provided me enough time to run. I had stunned them or something. And it felt like she was the one who was reaching out to me and not the other way around. And ever since then, she and I have had a very interesting relationship. And it's not one I don't think there's anyone in this world that would be able to understand this level that I have with her. But I've been told that I'm following her for all of the wrong reasons, even though I don't know what that really means. I'm devoted to her fully. But I was told, insisted, that I need to go back to the fundamentals.
Is it that you don't know her? Or that your path has strayed from her teachings?
I know her on such a deep level. On a level that I don't think anyone will ever be able to have. But not choosing to follow her in the beginning. And from where I'm from, people don't really follow her. They're cautious, scared. And so I guess I've never really had any guidance on this following. But I feel strength with my relationship. And you can see both Enid and how do you pronounce his name? Evrand?
Erevan. Yep.
Erevan. She's being very choosy with her words. So she's trying to be careful with what she's saying because she doesn't really know how to be like, hey, I'm a child, but I never took the courses. So
Make a deception check.
Hold on, before you roll, I'm trying to think of a way that I can help you.
But it's weird because there's a part of me that's like, Basil feels at home here, kind of. And she doesn't want him to know. But at the same time, she's like, but would it be so bad if I had someone who also followed her on my side of the court?
The deception check is not to like lie to this person. It's to see if he picks up on the cues of Basil like withholding information.
Okay, dirty 20.
Okay. I see. The matron works in mysterious ways. And although we know that she is worshipped sparingly throughout the world and revered as the vessel of death, there is so much more to what she is. She is not a vessel of death, but the keeper of its cycle. From beginning to end, she measures our fates, ensuring that we make it to that beautiful transition, ushering our souls from this plane to whichever our souls choose on the next. She is our transportation from the prime material to where our souls end up. She is the epitome of life. For without death, there cannot be life, and without life, there cannot be death.
I did make a mistake. I didn't realize it at the time. It was done in a fit of desperation. There were people whose lives were at stake, and I was trying to do everything I could to make sure we could keep as many alive as we could. And you see, there was this dragon, and it was destroying my home. It was destroying everything that we loved. And so I hastily made a decision to raise a few gods that had died before we had even gotten there. They were slain. And I thought the more people that could help, the more we can save. And so I was trying to use them to assist us, to help them still save where they're from. And she got mad at me, and she told me that I did something wrong, but I don't know what she expects from me because she chose me, but then she put me in this situation where I don't know how to do this. I don't know, how do I go about it when she provides no guidance, and then I make a mistake, and then she ignores me, and then I'm trying to fix it, but she doesn't tell me how to fix it.
Can I read his reaction or attempt to what she's saying? Because I would assume most followers of the Raven Queen don't get such direct contact from her.
You make an insight check.
Okay.
His reaction to the information is oddly unchanged during this whole ordeal. It seems almost accepting in a way. As you say those words, Basil, he says, "We would not be mortals. We did not make mistakes.
She
All
treats
of
me
us
like a
do.
child.
Are we not all children of the gods? They are what created us, what put us here. The Raven Queen makes it very clear to oppose undeath, to respect the dead. In dire circumstances, I understand. There are many who have been gifted abilities from their gods. I am one. I have made mistakes. All you can do is be better than you were before. Learn from those mistakes. Make sure they do not happen again."
How do I mend it with her if there's no more contact?
There is always contact with the gods. Most never directly or spoken, but through signs. You may see a raven flying by and know that she is watching. You may see a flower wilt nearby and know that she is working. You should not hinder yourself in your path with the Raven Queen. The matron is always there for us, regardless of our faults, as long as we pray, as long as we give what we can.
I understand. I'm glad you're here and you're leading this place. You
I
have
am but a
wise
vessel.
words. Well, you're a great vessel then.
You see, he looks towards the large statue of the Raven Queen. Two words written in times before, they say that is what she used to look like. Her mortal form before she ascended to godhood. If you have questions or wish to speak, maybe she's listening there.
Is that, I can't remember, is that what she looked like before?
It's a pretty good depiction of what she looked like, as you've seen her in her actual mortal form before. Well, I mean, you've seen her in her I'm a god, but also I was once mortal form, so it's like a blur of the both. It's pretty close. It's not exact, obviously, but it's
Right.
You know.
Because I know that when Basil went on her own little trek under the lake thing, and there was that wall showing how she became the goddess? Is that like common knowledge with the followers of the Raven Queen?
You look in the temple and there's actually nearby on the steps there is a mural of her ascent to godhood leading up to the giant statue.
So like, is her daughter in that as well, showing like her fighting?
Yes.
It's a good depiction. The story as well. That's how it happened.
We do, in fact, thank the masonry. The guild is good at what they do.
It is. She loved a child so much.
That we do know for sure.
She was just looking out for her.
For one to ascend to godhood for their child. She is the only one who has ever done it.
Must have been hard for her. She must have made a lot of mistakes too. I'm sure becoming a god wasn't easy.
We think that the matron is the closest to relatable we can get with one of the gods. Once immortal, one of us.
She's very much like us. And I think Basil would walk over to the wall and she'd probably like hold Enid's hand and take her over there. She'll bid, you know, like nod her head in respect to Evrand. And then she'd just go over and like light. Am I able to reach? Is it like a wall mural?
So, the staircase leading up is actually a mosaic of the depiction of her as a mortal, the child. It's almost identical to the one you found, but the one you found was very, very old. But it tells the story of the Raven Queen, once mortal, fighting the god of death to save her daughter. And then once you get up to the statue, the symbol of the Raven Queen is underneath her dress, like right here.
Okay.
It's the depiction of the crow and the mask. And then the statue itself is about 25 feet tall.
Okay. She'd pull Enid's hand over and, you know, touch the wall around where baby Basil is. And she'd just look at it, and that's where I began. It was lifetimes ago. And she's saying this quietly. She's not like...
How do you feel about all of that? About how long you both have been around?
She's upset with me. I did something wrong, as you heard, but I told her that she's being hypocritical because she's also making a mistake for keeping me alive and not giving me the rest that I deserve just as much as everybody else. And she's not happy about that, which is understandable. And I was upset with her, and I could have said it in a better way. never had someone love me as much as she does. Like he said, imagine ascending to godhood for your child and loving them so much that you just give them lifetimes and lifetimes, even knowing that they may not know you. In 1 out of 10 lifetimes, they just might.
Our little party has seen a lot of death and sadness, and I can tell you your mother's love for you must have been so strong, because if I could have done that for my family, for my little brother, if Rian could have done that for his family, for his son, we would have. And that's not to measure love or anything, but
No.
you are so loved, Basil. I don't, and she's like looking up at the mural. I can't even comprehend what grief she must have been holding to look death in the face and just say no. And I know you've had a lot of pain, Basil, and I'm sorry about that. And I may be talking out of turn. I understand you two are fighting. Every moment you can get to be with her, do it, and try your best to ignore all the crap that makes people mad, because it won't matter. And if you want this to be your last reincarnation, I understand and respect it, but for a woman that gave up everything, I can imagine that's hard to hear.
I think so much has just happened within these past months, and she and I don't really know how to go about it, because I don't think this has ever happened with any gods that I know of. Would you mind standing here with me? I'm going to try to reach out to her again.
Of course, and honestly, after you're done, I need to reach out to her too. I have a lot to thank her for. But take all the time you need.
Okay. And then, Basil's just gonna kind of quietly stand there and then try to reach out to her. And this is in her head. Hi, Mum. I'm in this beautiful temple of yours, one that I've never seen before. It's so grand here. And I feel at home. I could see myself living here permanently. I could build a life here with Enid if she would be interested in staying here. And maybe I could become a priest. You never know. I know that you told me to go back to the basics and figure out why I'm a follower, and I'm a follower because of you. Not because I wanted to be before you reached out to me, but because you are you. And I followed you even before I knew you were my mother, and I'm still following you. I have an unconventional reason. And I hope that you understand that I didn't have the privilege to explore this religion back home, and I'm very new to this, and I make mistakes. But I'm always trying to do my best and to make you proud of me. And I don't want to hurt your feelings, and sometimes I lash out when mine are hurt. But I just want you to know that I'm taking what you said seriously. And I hope I didn't fuck everything up with you. I don't think I could go on if I did. But, yeah, so if you're listening, it's me again. So, thought I'd try again.
Basil, as you're looking up at the statue, saying this in your mind. You don't know where it came from. But at your feet, there's a single raven feather. You look around, there are no ravens nearby.
She'll bend down to pick it up.
Does that mean she heard you?
She had me. I think there's still a lot of rebuilding to do, and us conversing does hurt the planes and rifts and all of that, so I know we're trying to be careful, but she heard me. And I'm sure she'll hear you if you want to pray to her.
She'll like squeeze Basil's hand and then quietly say her prayer, which I'll just message you, John, which she sends out. I assume there wouldn't be a reason for her to like get a response directly or anything, so.
Okay.
Wait, I want to know what it is. What's the prayer?
You don't get to know yet. Maybe the Raven Queen talks to you about it. Who knows?
No.
She doesn't talk to
Okay.
Enid, so.
But you're my girlfriend. You tell me what you
No.
tell my mother. Okay.
No.
All right. So, as you reach out to the Raven Queen, and shortly after, Enid reaches out to the Raven Queen. We go back into Al-Shaham. As all of you, the rest of you, Rian, Gak, and Yursa, I'll let you guys look at the map. There we go. Walk through Al-Shaham from Sailor's Run through the Sunshine District into Mind's Eye, the section of the city dedicated to the god of knowledge, the goddess Ayun. You see that as soon as you enter, there are so many bookshops. There are about 5 or 6 as soon as you walk in. You can see depictions of Ayun almost everywhere you look. The tapestries of the eye of Ayun lining the streets. You can see it's also a very magical area of the city, which is odd to say because the city is very magical itself. But as you get closer and closer, you see a vast library, a cathedral of sorts that you assume is not only serve as a library, but a temple to the goddess herself. You also realize that this is the largest library you have seen, and probably is the largest library in the world. as you see a almost 80-foot building that reaches to the sky almost, with depictions of gold and blue woven into the stone and rock that makes this building. You see a single door, and as you walk in, you are greeted with, hold on, a gargantuan archive. You see tables lining this blue, gold, and black tiled floor. You see braziers lit with purple and blue fire lining. And you seem to see billions of books. It seems that they go on even past what you remember the ceiling of the library being outside. In the very, very back, you see a large staircase that leads up to a very large platformed area where there is a glass window that depicts the eye of Ioun. Ioun is one of those goddesses that no one really has a real image of her. No, there's no body that is depicted. It is just the symbol. As you reach Sage Haven.
Pretty.
Books.
So,
Are there a lot of
three of
people inside here?
there are, but it is silent.
Great.
Oh, earrings, right?
What's this? This is the library of Ioun, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So yeah, we could just communicate via the ear cuffs, right? So that way we're not talking out loud.
I
Yeah.
totally forgot we had those. When was the last time we used them?
I don't know. Right now.
That's wild. That's
Well,
wild.
I mean, yours, like her eyes are as big as saucers right now. Like this is a lot to take in, as is most of the city. She's low key feeling a little overwhelmed. But she looks to Rianne and Gak, and I guess in her mind she says, "Well, is there something in particular you two are looking for here?"
I was, for one, going to try and find a help desk of some kind because I feel as though I'm going to need a little bit of direction. But I was going to try and find information on the other planes, specifically whether it be the plane of air or Pandemonium, because those are two places we're heading next. So I wanted to try and have some type of an idea of what we were going to face.
Good idea. And you, Gak?
Gak's just kind of been staring around, and you saying his name kind of snaps him out of it, and he's just like, I think I'm gonna pray.
Okay. That is also good to do.
I've never done it before.
Oh.
But I wonder if there's like a place I should go to pray.
Well, maybe if we can find someone to help, I'm sure they can point you in the right direction.
Yeah.
She kind of like looks over her shoulder. Do they have like a help desk?
There's no help desk. With a quick glance for those who have very high perception, there are these small magical orbs that kind of float every 30 to 40 feet that you can see if somebody is looking for a tome. They kind of walk over to it and place their hands on it and whisper. And there's this bright light that, not a bright light, it's a dull light around their hands, and you see them just kind of walk in a direction.
Well, I guess that we'll go over to the orbs.
For clarity, for Yak, you do know that there's a staircase on the very end that leads up to a large platform that you can see a lot of people kind of with their knees on cushions and their hands crossed, looking up towards the symbol of Ioun in the glass.
Gak's gonna point that way and say to Yursa and Rianne,
The people on their knees, is that how you pray?
That's how some people pray, yes. I think that's a very good place to start, Gak.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna go over there.
We will wait here for you. Take as much time as you need.
Okay, you guys go get some books.
She looks around. I think we will definitely get lots of books.
and Gak walks to the prayer place.
Okay. So, Gak, you're walking past Rianne and Yursa. Rianne, you're looking for some books.
Mm-hmm.
You head over to one of the orbs. You kind of see the person in front of you, what they do, kind of realize that this is probably a mind thing. So you go over and place your hands. What do you think of?
Rian would just think, oh god, extraplanar locations or multiverse, different planes of existence. I think he would probably go for more general to get a general area to go versus like specific books.
Okay. As you think of that, Yursa, you see Rianne's hands on this orb. There's a glow underneath. Rianne, you get this jolt of information, and the information is that of a direction of where to walk to find the book you are looking for.
Okay. He'll look to Yursa and say, "Did you have an idea for something you'd like to find, or just helping me?"
Well, actually, there's a few things I was going to look up, so you can go and find your books. I'll be right here.
Okay, sounds good. And yeah, Rian will head off in his direction.
Okay. Okay. So as you continue to walk, you walk up some staircases that lead to a second. Then you go up to a third floor, a fourth floor. You look down and realize you are about 5 stories high once you get to the floor that the directions in your mind kind of subside and then point you northward. As you continue to walk, you walk down this pathway, this corridor that leads to older tomes until eventually you find a room that looks older than most, but in a slight way. It is still beautiful. It is still well kept. The books just look older. Sorry. You start looking around for books.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead and make an investigation or perception check.
Ooh.
And I guess you can make it either with advantage because yours is there.
Yursa is not. She was staying behind to do something else.
She's
Oh, that's
gonna
right.
look for her own books.
That's right. That's right.
Do I have anything that can help? I don't think so. Okay. All right. You said investigation or perception?
Yeah.
Perception. All right. That's nice. 23.
Okay. So you find. Oops, I might have messed up my mic. You find multiple books through here, and all of them talk about planar travel. You see a book titled Portals and Pathways, A Guide to Planar Travel, The Fabric of Existence, Understanding the Multiverse, Ethereal Ways, A Journey Through the Planes. You see these are very, very old books written by very, very old people, and probably before the calamity itself, when people were able to traverse the planes freely. You pick one of them and start reading through. And you start to get information on the planes of existence, kind of skimming through about 3 of them. Some of the stories don't line up between the 3. It seems like these were 3 scholars, travelers of the planes that experienced vastly different things when they traveled. But there are some similarities. As you continue reading through, however, you do figure out there are 2 very distinct differences between the planes you are researching. The 2 planes you are researching, Pandemonium and the plane of air, both have a similarity in that there are harsh winds. However, Pandemonium is constant, you find out. Pandemonium is a world of constant torrenting winds that destroy everything around it. Things built in Pandemonium do not last very long. It is also a horrible, horrible place. Plane of air, however, less tormented winds, as it is described as... The best way it is described in the book is if the water in the world was just plain space and air, and the land itself just floated. Everything that is solid land floats in this plane. There is no bottom ground. Everything is flying, ascended, and it is clouds. However, from reading about these 2, you get the sense that this tornado that is in the Sea of the Dying doesn't meet the description of air from Pandemonium.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like if this was Pandemonium, it would be a lot worse than just a tornado. It seems that from your research that you can probably narrow this down to the plane of air is the plane in the Sea of the Dying. Because there's this, almost like if you take a balloon and pop a hole in it, the air is being released at such a velocity from this plane into the prime material that it is creating this this tornado. It's still natural. Pandemonium would not be natural.
Okay. And Rian is taking note of all of this in his own journal. Actually, not in his own journal. He has a separate book that he's writing this in. So is there any information, perhaps these people that have been there, even though there's inconsistencies, is there any mention of some type of leader figure, large primordial creature, something that would connect with what Rian understands to be the tether to the material plane? Like in the Shadowfell, it was a shadow dragon, right? It was Umbraxicor. Is there anything like that for either one of these? Just out of curiosity for Pandemonium, but for the plane of air, just for the... Hopefully that way we know what we're looking for.
I would say reading about the plane of air, it is the birthplace of air elementals, obviously. There are very powerful air elementals that live here. It is also the plane of existence where cloud giants live. And storm giants, both. It is also the plane of existence where certain dragons reside. But they are not depicted like the dragons you know in the prime material, the 2 wings and 4 legs.
Mm-hmm.
Most of these dragons don't have wings at all. They almost fly like snakes through the air. Large whiskers and almost Japanese dragon-esque. It is also the birthplace of rocks, not the stone.
Yeah, okay, yeah. ROC.
Thank you
Not
for
ROCK.
the clarification. I was
Yeah.
still unsure.
Well, for a
And-
moment, my brain was like, "What the fuck does he mean, rocks? Like stones?" And
Yeah,
then I
rocks
remembered birds.
from
Yeah.
here. There are some. The civilizations in the plane of air are not like the prime material. There are not large stone buildings. You hear depictions of cities built from the clouds themselves. But the person that you're reading from, you see that one of the books goes way more into detail than the plane of air. Like they had been there extensively more than others. Most creatures there are not hostile, but most of the civilizations that are built from the giants, and they are territorial. You can continue reading, but it's kind of piecing the puzzle together to figure out what could be the anchor on that side is difficult. There are a lot of powerful things on that side of the plane that could have been tethered to this rift.
Okay. I think that is good enough. Last thing, and there might not be anything in these books, and that's okay. Obviously, Rian would understand Genasi, right? He understands the concept of what Genasi are. So air Genasi, then he would understand, are connected to the elemental plane of air.
Right.
Okay.
Yes.
So are there any other types of creatures that are mentioned aside from air Genasi that exist on the material plane that like have an influence of the elemental plane of air? Trying to like figure out what is the right, because if I remember correctly, there's 2 tether points. There's one on the material plane side and one on the elemental plane side. So trying to pinpoint what we need to look for the material plane side. Is it just an air genasi, or is there some other type of thing that happens to people when they're influenced by the elemental plane of air?
Well, speaking of like creatures that are on the prime material that you can read about that are from the plane of air as well, griffins are one. Genies are another. There are also air mephits that you know of. They're these small little goblinoid creatures. They're elementals as well. But however, you do know that when someone is tethered or anchored to a rift on this side of existence, they don't necessarily have to be from that plane, but they do gain properties from that plane. They have the abilities from that plane. Yursa is able to tap into the Feywild because she is tethered to the plane of the Feywild. Sludge was able to tap into shadow magic because she was tethered to the Shadowfell. As for the other Rift Wardens, so whether the person tethered on the side is connected to the plane because they originate from there, the best way to know is that they will have some sort of properties or be able to do some sort of thing that has to do with the plane of air.
Okay. And okay, cool. So, but as far as we know, it has been somebody who is from the material plane, humanoid-ish, that has been inhibited with these powers.
Correct.
Okay, cool. So that okay, so now we kind of know what we're looking for on both sides a little bit. Be really interesting if it's genie. Makes okay. All right. Cool. Um, I think that's all. Like Joe wanted to get from the information on the plane of air. Rian would like to take a lot more notes on what is said about the different planes from the different scholars and denote which scholar said what.
Okay. Yeah, you can take time reading that. You can tell that this section of the I'm not gonna say it's the forbidden section, but not one person walks into this room while you're reading. This is old knowledge that seems like either those who wanted to study it have already read these books, or people have just forgotten that this knowledge really exists. But you continue reading about the different planes, and all of the information comes from the Age of Arcanum, the age before the Calamity, when magic was at its height, when people could travel the planes when they wanted to, go wherever they wanted to do. You read about the 9 hells, you read about its 9 layers, and the denizens of each. You actually start getting a little bit of tidbits about Mephisto, and you kind of think back to the fight you had, and there's a little bit of you that's like, oh shit, we fought that guy. He's the Lord of the 7th layer. Oh, cool. That's cool. You read about where he's from. You start reading about the Shadowfell and reading about the plane of water and all of these planes you know of that you have to go to. And you start reading about the Abyss. You start getting information that tells you that the Abyss never existed until slightly before the Age of Arcanum. The Abyss is a creation, from what you read, from a god known as Tharizdun, the god of chaos, who was imprisoned by the prime deities, and through his anger and rage, his mind created in his own demiplane he was captured the Abyss, an infinite layer of torment, of demons and disgusting creatures. And you start reading more about the Abyss, and I will give you a lot of information. I can type it to you.
Yeah.
But just know, Rian, you probably know more about the planes currently than even Yrsa does after reading these books.
Let's go. All right.
Sorry, Yrsa.
Yeah,
Book smarts doesn't equate to street smarts, though, so Yrsa still got him beat there. Last question, and then I promise I'll be done with the history lesson.
You're good.
Are there any books in this section written by the Okunai, Rian's people?
In this section?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Okay. Rian might
Not
go
in
back to the orb and see if he can find anything.
Yeah.
Out of curiosity.
Yeah,
but...
the Okunai are not in the multiversal book section.
Okay.
But if you go back to the orb, there are sections, there are books written about the history of the Okunai, books written by the people of the Okunai, from the different villages up north, small scribes and even journals that were taken. There's a lot of history prior to the rift opening and Demogorgon coming through. And these are a lot of things you already know about the culture, and who they were and what they did and what they accomplished and the magic they used. After Demogorgon, anything about the capital city of Ventusferum is gone. And you can obviously tell that is because once Demogorgon came, the city was removed from the map. There is no more history about the city. But you do read about how the Citron Empire became the Citron Empire, that once the city was gone, Ciri in the south started to take over land from what used to be the kingdom of the Okunai and merge with the kingdom of the Okunai and eventually become the Citron Empire.
Okay. And then as he's reading through it, is there anything that is mentioned about either his dad or the weapon that his dad used that Rian currently has?
Yes, yes, there is. There is stuff about the king of the Okunai. Not so much the weapon itself. There are depictions of, and I have his name actually in my notes somewhere. I just can't find it, so I'll have to type it to you later.
Dad.
Dad. But actually, I think. Anyways, there are historical notes of wars your father has fought in against Siri. The infamy of the blade that you wield back then. No one knows what that blade is now. 500, 1,000 years later. But the blade itself was infamous. Everyone knew your father, if they did not know him from his face, by that blade.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, I think that's it. I am satiated.
By the way, I found his name. Your father's name, when you're reading the historical books, is Asamu.
Samu.
Isamu.
Okay. Cool. Sounds good.
Okay. Lore dump over.
Boom.
What book are you looking for?
Hello. More lore, please. Yursa would like to look for anything on the Moon Court and various courts in the Feywild. That's her first book. Give us all the lore this session, Jonathan. Yeah, lore goblins today. This is the Oh, it looks
That's
so
so cool.
good.
That's so cool.
It's really bright. Oh, it died.
Oh,
damn.
Moon died? Oh, shit. Oh, but it's not purple.
Okay. No, weird.
So
Let's
already
see.
Just smacking Moon.
I didn't know if it was like a, because this one is like a smackable. It's just dead. So I didn't know if it was a smack one. Let's see. I can change the color again. Sorry.
Rian, as you are walking out of the section reading about the multiverse, Yursa walks past you.
Oh, hey.
Hello.
Gonna go find other books.
Yep.
Okay.
So you start reading some of the books, some of the same books that Rian was actually reading. You start reading about various courts within the Feywild. The Seelie Court, which is also known as the Summer Court or the Court of Light. The Unseelie Court, the Winter or Court of Darkness. The Glooming Court, which is referred to as the Twilight or Shadow Court. There are various different courts, but you eventually fall onto the Moon Court and their purpose within the Feywild. As you are reading through it, there's information you already know about the Feywild as just a general sense. There's information you start to gain that is, it's not, I don't want to say disheartening, but there's definitely this person writing about it definitely notes down, never make a deal with a Fey, do not trust Fey.
Racist.
It seems like there are a lot of notes about the trickery of the Feywild. That there are Fey that will try to trick you into staying there forever. They will trick you into turning you into different creatures so you can be their pet. The Feywild is not a great place. as you're reading about it.
Mhm.
Better than others.
But there's still a darkness to it.
Correct. But as you read about the Moon Court, you fall upon the Moon Court, and you can see that there are a little notes about them. It seems like this person that went to the Feywild did not stay in each of the courts very long, but the general notion of the Moon Court is that they are a court dedicated to guarding night and dreams, to protecting the balance of light and dark. They are also protectors of the mystery of magic, keeping it this mystical force that it is. They protect the nature of night itself, and they are very, very good at being mediators and diplomats. They are very, very political, and there's also notes in there that the Moon Court is very very artistic, and creative. But it is one of the more reformed and structured of the courts.
Gotcha. I mean, that's not bad information. Does it say if there is like any specific names of anybody who sits on the court?
It doesn't give specific names to people. There is, you can tell reading through it that because of the way the Moon Court is, there's a change in the ruler, or the king or queen changes from various times.
Gotcha.
They're elected. They're appointed to their position.
Okay. And then I guess anything on like what it means to be exiled and how you can like appeal that if that's a thing that's possible. Or how do you appease the court?
You don't find anything about being exiled from the court, or it seems like that is very insider knowledge.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. Sorry, not to metagame, but could Yursa look up Moon Elf's connection to the Fae Court?
Yes, she would look that up.
Thank you.
Precisely.
Okay. Moon elves, as you look it up, you see that their origination is before the Age of Arcanum. It is, they originated what looks to be from almost creation of the world itself. Well, creation of Evrand, not the entire world itself. But Moon elves were originally the first of the Moon Court. They were the first Fae of the Moon Court that the goddess Sahanine created herself in her image, so to speak. That then she transitioned from the Feywild into the Prime Material, when all of the deities had created their own, when Moradin created the dwarfs, and the prime deities, Melora, Moradin, and Palor, had created other life. Eventually, Moon Elves, over time, became less and less, and after the Calamity and the Divine Gates were created, Moon Elves, what was on the Prime Material, the Moon Elves, was what was left. And they dwindled over time until what is known as a blue moon. When a blue moon happens, you can read about this, is when a blue moon happens, a Fae is created and a Moon Elf is created. That a blue moon happens when a elf is born on a blue moon, and they are actually born as a moon elf. So they're created with a counterpart on either side.
Oh. Okay, is yours safe to assume that's what happened with Enid?
Mm-hmm.
Neat. Okay. Well, I mean, that gives us more information than what we had before. And if they're very, like, political driven, I feel like we can make a very well-formed argument.
Okay.
The only other thing, like, while she's in this section, is just, like, I don't even know how to phrase it. I feel like Yrsa has a lot of information on the rifts already. But, like, anything, I don't know if this is something written in a book, that explains, like, how one would go about, like, stabilizing that magic. Or if that's something that's even possible.
Rifts?
Yeah.
Rifts, you can tell there's not a lot of information, if any. Rifts are relatively new within the past couple hundred years, which is, a long time, but it is relatively new in the grand scheme of things. There's not a lot of information on the rifts.
Okay. Then I do believe that's it.
Okay. Very well. So, moving to Gak. You continue walking through the library, and so you get to the staircase, the very tall staircase. You walk up, and you would count the steps if you could count.
I stop at 10.
You look up.
That's a lot.
You count to 10 20 times.
I count to 10 times, and then another 10 times.
Yep.
There was 2 tens of tens.
And you see up here various people from all walks of life praying to the goddess of knowledge, the knowing mistress of Ayun. But you can also see there are some clerics nearby that look to be robed in bright blues and golds with stars kind of lining their cloaks, some tannish white garments underneath, books to their side, and you can see that they carry staffs that look to have the symbol of Ayun in the top. Almost the top of it looks like a dream catcher of sorts, but the symbol in the center is the eye. And one of them actually walks towards you. You see a tan-skinned elf with very long, beautiful white hair walk towards you and say, "Hello, how may I help you, my student?"
And is she talking out loud, or is it like an thing?
She's talking out loud.
Okay.
Hi. My name's Kak.
Welcome to the Temple of Ayun, Gak. My name is Serena. I am a lore weaver, one of the clerics of Ayun.
That's cool. I have a question.
Of course.
How do I pray?
In any way you would like, but if you're asking specifically, some like to... She kind of looks over. Sit down. Almost in a meditative state. And just think. In your head, act as though you were talking to Ayun. Or you can whisper out loud. Stand in front of the statue over there. The window, It is up to you as long as you were trying to talk to her.
Okay.
Do you
Okay.
need help?
I think I'm okay. I think I can do it.
Very well. Well, I
Thank
will
you.
leave you to it. And she kind of bows and walks away.
Gak's gonna find a spot, and he's a big boy, so he's gonna find a pretty open spot on the ground, where he can see the statue, and he's gonna sit crisscross applesauce down, and he's gonna pull Chip out and just let Chip sit in his lap.
Okay.
And then he is going to just look up the statue and think to Ayun.
Okay. And what do you think to Ayun, Gak?
So Gak will just be like,
Hey, Ayun, it's Gak, your champion. This is a cool place you got. It's cool to see all these people praying to you. I've never prayed before, so I'm sorry if this isn't a good one. But yeah, I don't know much about the God stuff, but I just wanted to say thank you again, and that I am trying to do good stuff, and we fought a dragon and closed a rift. You probably know that, but I think it's cool, and it's not worthy to tell you. So, yeah, I figured I'm here, might as well pray. Yeah, and let me know if you want me to pray more. But thank you. I love you. Bye.
Gak, you hear. My champion. It is good to hear your voice.
Yours too.
Welcome, one of my many homes. Continue your path, but also, as my champion, spread the knowledge and wisdom you have. Be the guidance that others need when they search for information. Be a beacon of truth and a combatant against ignorance and deceit.
Gideon and I started writing a book to teach people how to be an adventurer. So that's one thing that might help.
You are on the right path then.
I wish I could enjoy all the books you got here. It's pretty cool.
Would you like to?
I don't know. It's kind of scary.
Knowledge can sometimes be a fear. I can give you this gift if you want. All you need to do is ask.
Do you think that I need it?
No.
Well, maybe I could try to learn the old-fashioned way.
Very well. Go forth. Continue the closing of these rifts. We are all counting on you and your friends.
And Gak's just sitting there. And after a while, he goes,
Okay. Absolutely. I can do that. We can do that. We'll do it. Thank you.
Gak, there's no more response.
Gak's gonna find Serena.
She is nearby.
He's gonna walk up to her and say,
That was good. That went well. I said I love you, but I didn't hear it back. I don't know if I should have said that.
The gods love all of their children, regardless if they say it or not. We are their creation.
So it's like she doesn't have to say it. 'Cause
But we
all
know they do.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Is there anything I can help you with?
Do you have a book that teaches people how to read?
She looks to the library behind.
I'm sure you could find one here.
Cool, I might check that out.
It was nice to meet you, Gak.
It was nice to meet you, Shradina.
Never been.
She walks away.
and then Gak's gonna go up to one of the orbs and try to find a book that teaches you how to read.
Gak, first you find a book that quite literally teaches you the spell comprehend languages. And then you quickly realize that wasn't what you were asking for. So you go back to the orb.
That's too easy.
There are some children's books that you do find. And you start trying to read them. Go ahead and make me an intelligence check.
Two.
You start looking through the book that is going over the letters of the alphabet. You see G, A, and K. You know those. And then you just kind of keep reading G, A, and K over again, and then you start drawing your signature, you completely forget about reading the rest of the book.
There's more than 10 letters.
Could Yrsa have seen him go this way, and could she have followed?
I would say this is probably at the time that you were reading about the Moon Court.
Okay, cool.
Gak will probably be sitting with the book for a while.
Yeah, you'd come down and see Gak with the book open, just kind of off to the side now, and he's like writing his name over and over again.
Yeah, she won't disturb him then, but she will just kind of walk by and just lightly tap him on the shoulder of encouragement and give him a little bit of guidance as she goes. And that's it.
Okay. So, Rian, you have gained your information of the different planes. Yrsa, you have gained your information about the Moon Court and some of the different planes. Gak, you have received a message from Ioun herself and started to learn. Not really how to read. And Enid and Basil, you start to leave Raven's Crest and the Raven Queen's Temple, heading back to the tavern, the Nibbly Fish. Why did I tell you that one existed? Why did I even make that?
Because it's fun. It's delightful.
Heading back.
Oh, I was going to say one more thing. Before leaving, after he felt like the guidance from Yrsa, can he just copy the letters down into his journal? And just draw the symbols in order?
Of A
in
through
journal?
Z?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Easily enough. So, as you are walking back, I'll say for the sake of time and everything, Enid and Basil, you get back to the tavern. You sit down for a drink and some food. It is around lunchtime now. Gak, Yrsa, and Rian, you make it most of the way back. Gak, your passive perception is what again?
It's a lot. I think it's 23. Yeah, 23.
You hear one of the guards conversing. You see a group of them conversing, and you just, as you're walking by, through all of the crowd, you do hear one of the guards talking to the other. Looks to be giving a report of some kind. Says, "We were not able to catch him. He once again broke into one of these stores using some sort of magic, a gust of wind of sorts. And he got away." You hear the other guard. "Same as last time, then." And the one who's doing the report, "Yes, it seems that he can fly." And you kind of hear that walking by.
Okay. I think Gak might slow down a little bit, and Rian and Yrsa will can tell that he's slowing down, but he's slowing down and then just kind of meandering nearby to see if he can hear any more.
Okay. At this point, make a perception check.
Okay. $22.
Okay. You continue listening in. Go ahead and also make me a stealth check.
Okay, and in the little ear cuff thing, he's gonna tell Rian and Yrsa that he heard something from the guards. That he's gonna try to hear a little bit more.
Yeah, Yrsa will stop as if she's looking at a stall. As
8.
we are. But Yursa has stopped and looked at a stall to make it look less conspicuous.
Gak
Yes,
just like
she
rounds
just
the
picked up
corner.
fruit.
Gak
Put
is
it
just
down.
walking and he just stops.
Yeah.
He's just kind of like
So you
looking
do
off
hear
around.
further. You hear the one that the guard is reporting to say, "He can fly now. Great." And what's
You walked into that one, John.
I mean,
in what direction? Oh, Ryan, we miss you. Oh, that was it was intended.
good.
He goes, and in what direction? The one reporting says, well, we chased him into the Undercommons, and then he disappeared into the Stormsire. And then they look over. Can I help you? To you, Gak.
Gak is going to like do a double take and go, huh? What?
You are standing relatively close, and it seems you're listening in.
Oh, I apologize for him. You see, this is my my friend, brother from another mother. You know the story. He's blind in one eye. So he
Yursa is
sometimes
staring at Rian with so much confusion.
he sometimes glances in directions. He doesn't fully understand what he's looking at. Isn't that right, Brick?
What?
Exactly.
Make a deception check with advantage.
I like that. Rian said he's blind and Gak's acting like he's deaf.
Deception. Where's that at?
Yeah.
D. Okay. Oh, okay. All right. 13. Oh, advantage. Advantage. Okay. Let's see if we can cook up something a little better. Let's go! Oh, yeah, we can.
Oh, that's
Okay.
ridiculous.
They look at each other. The group of 3 guards behind them as well look to each other and go. The one that called you out, Gak, goes, I apologize. Have a good day. And they kind of just walk off.
You too.
Brother from another mother. Blind in one eye.
And apparently deaf in the other.
His eye?
Rian,
Jack,
that
what
was-
did you hear?
That was really good.
Oh, don't encourage him.
That was good. You should do that more.
Okay, all right, if you insist.
They were talking about someone who was like breaking into a store and they chased him down. He's done it a bunch of times, but he like I don't know, he like is using like wind powers and stuff and he can fly.
Oh,
Did they happen to say what store?
I don't
Or I guess, are we standing near said store, John? Like, is it obvious?
No, you were standing right near the entrance of the Undercommons.
Mhm.
Gak, with your perception, you could tell that the guard that was reporting came from the Undercommons.
I know that he said that he escaped into the Undercommons and went into the Shire.
Hmm.
all right. The
The
Shire.
Stormshire?
There's no H.
Oh.
Oh, okay. I
Storm
was-
Sire?
That might,
the fuck
yeah.
do you say
I
that,
think that's what
John?
he said. Yeah.
Stormsire, yeah. Okay.
Okay.
That is very interesting. I was doing some research trying to get a few ideas of what we might face in the rift, which I believe is connected to the elemental plane of air, but I think that this individual might be our tether on the other side. Could be. I mean,
All the way here?
no, perhaps. I mean, think about it. If you weren't born in Lunaria, you just happened to be connected to the rift. I mean, where could have you have ended up?
Well, I thought with the rifts, you just had to, if you were nearby when it opened,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yes,
then you could be
that does
tethered to
happen.
it.
So that could be it.
And this
Nearby.
guy's just like robbing places.
So we could.
Well,
Yeah.
I suppose we don't have the full story yet.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if Dio was by a rift when it opened, he'd probably use his powers to rob places. So
Yes.
That's unfortunately true.
yeah, but he'd only rob places that like they had enough, you know.
I'd like to think so.
Mhm.
Like,
I
he's
don't
not gonna
know.
rob from a place that doesn't have a lot. He's gonna rob from a place that like makes their food really expensive and other people can't have it.
I think Dio would rob from a place that is richer than him as kind of a baseline.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he'd keep most of it, but then he'd give some of it away.
Maybe.
If there
Perhaps
was
we
like someone on
should.
the street that was like, "Please," and he'd be like, "Okay."
Maybe.
Perhaps we should go back and let Basil and Eden know what we found, and maybe we can just take a stroll through the Undercommon and see what we find.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Oh, one thing we're going to have to discuss is how we want to approach the situation. I mean, how much information, if we determine that this person is connected to the rift, I mean, how much do we tell them? I mean, everything. Especially if they're using their powers for personal gain, I doubt they'd be so ready to potentially have to give it up.
Right, but it is our duty to make sure that that happens.
It
I
is.
think it just depends on when and where we find them, and who they are, and I guess how willing they are to prevent destruction from happening.
And Yursa, you can
Would you like a tissue, sir?
Whoops, there's a parade of boars nearby.
Wow! That was so
Cool.
mean, Nick. I was just making a comment about a guy with a snotty nose.
Yursa.
Yes.
Gak dies. He has a heart attack. Brain aneurysm.
I don't feel so good.
I'm so getting used to my new mic.
Yursa, you can remove the tether from someone without their permission.
I can. They'll know the moment I begin, unfortunately, but
Because we don't
That I
have to kill
can.
the guy.
no, of course not.
Yeah. So we might just have to fight him and hold him down if he's not willing to give it up.
Well, you might not be wrong. I think, though, more information is needed before it comes to that. But that is a good option, should we need it.
Well, let's wait for this parade to pass and then let's go back to the nipping fish.
Alright, let's go. And we go back to the...
It's a big.
There are those
they're
boars
slow.
again. Oh my goodness.
They're so slow.
That one just fell over.
Oh no. I'll help
So-
it up.
You head back. The fuck is this tavern called again? the Nibbly Fish.
The nipping fish is what I called. I truly couldn't remember the name. I thought I said it right.
Yeah. You walk in and find your friends, Enid and Basil, sitting at the table.
Where did Gideon go again?
He went to Creation's Gate to the Temple of Morden.
Gotcha. That's further down.
It was right beneath the mind's eye, yeah. Where the
Yeah.
Temple of Iron.
Yeah. He'll be back at some point. Okay.
How was your guys' trip?
The temple was beautiful, actually. Kind of peaceful.
Very informative and beautiful.
That
It was
sounds
great.
cool.
What about you guys?
The library was crazy. There were
It
so many books.
was a little overwhelming, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
But I talked to Ayun there, and she says we're doing
Lovely.
good. So let's keep doing it.
Ursa would also share with Enid all the information she was able to find on the Moon
Mhm.
Court, and she would say, I know it's not terribly more than what we already know, but I figured if they're so politically sorry, everyone keeps making faces tonight and I can't. If they're so politically charged, it might be a good opportunity for you to maybe think of, now hear me out, drafting up a very well stated, maybe apology is not the right word, but
Like an
reason as to
argument?
your, yes, that arguing for yourself to be, I suppose, reinstated, your exile to be dismissed. Perhaps if you come very well versed and prepared, they might hear you out and at least give you an audience if you approach in a more diplomatic way.
I think that's something that Gideon could very much help with. I mean, I'm sure he's
Oh,
very well
yes.
versed in legalese.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, that would be great. Cause also like, would politics work differently there? Like what they value?
Well,
I guess we'd just have to find
we would
out.
have to see. Again, I stress, it needs to be very plainly spoken, right? No room for loopholes or for words to be changed around. Whoever wrote this book, and as you know, and as I know, the Feywild is a beautiful place, but it is also a very beautifully dark place. And the moment there is an opportunity to deceive you and trick you and change your words around, it very much seems like they will. So it might not be a bad idea to draft something up, talk with Gideon to make sure it is very airtight, and that your words cannot be used against yourself.
Yeah. I'll talk with Gideon about it. Cause like, never mind. I'll talk with Gideon about it. My brain's already going in loops. But okay, I mean that's a start.
I could also help too.
Yeah, I guess, and maybe if I can get more information out of Moon, but like, I don't know how to argue.
Well, I don't believe that.
Well, I do know how to argue, but not. So like, we're both supposed to be dead, and that's why she's exiled.
Right. This is a different kind of argument.
Yeah, it's like, wait, okay, so what about this whole fate thing people talk about? I don't know, like, the whole, I guess, like, structure of how fate works, but like, let's say these politicians believe in this concept of destiny, and that maybe, if Moon didn't save me, I wouldn't have been able to help you guys fix this rifty thing, right? That's legally.
I think that's a great start, yes.
Okay. But I just don't know the ground. Like, that feels like a really loose still. Like, just to be like.
Well, if I know anything, I know that the Fae are very much believers in fate, and they are
Okay.
very much believers in karma. And so I think there's a way that we can spin it to where it could convince some. And as we know, not everybody is completely against you, Enid. There are people who believe in you and who do not agree with you being exiled. So I think we have at least a start.
Yeah, it's yeah, I think so too. I'm feeling pretty good now. And then, like I said, maybe if I can get Moon to come around and stuff, we can get her assistance a little bit. But I think I may just need the rest of you also. That might be good too. We have like a whole... We're all heroes here on the material plane, right? We got a lot going for us. Closed 1 rift.
Correct.
Working on rift 2.
Enemies of
Demogorgon.
And I think it is a collective effort, yours included, that we have come this far.
And if I were dead,
we would not have made it this far.
Exactly.
And the rifts would not be closing. We are just, we should have a
Exactly.
court of our own and just, you know.
We should. Let's destroy the whole moon court and let's just take it.
Whoa, whoa,
away.
whoa, 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 whoa.
Well, it's up for grabs, right? Like, sorry, backtrack. Anyway, thank you, Yursa. That was very helpful.
We'll turn it into thorns and roses.
Oh, that's fun. Oh, wait.
I mean, it is fun.
Kayla, you have done this every single session you've played it.
Big meat.
Dig meat? Big meat.
I'm
Bricked up.
Sometimes I just like to live in my naivete, okay?
No, I love it.
Oh, it's so funny.
Right.
Yeah.
Got loud so fast.
I will say, Rian would say, and I think one thing that really does help your fate, destiny argument is most of our lives we lived thinking fate and destiny was some far off thing that helped give us purpose. But I think the thing that I am very much realizing, and that old, well, maybe not, shouldn't say old to them, but wise fae such as themselves should know, is that the weave, the magic that binds us all together, it puts us on a path. It puts us in the direction where we need to go, and, well, I'm sure that's something that all of them have experienced as well. You can't fight fate. You have to let it happen.
Is there a way to consult this weave? You know, if everyone's felt its pull, is there a way we can, like, you know, instead of just saying, like, oh, Moon felt the weave pull her to intercede on my behalf?
Well, I mean, they are creatures of the Fae. They cannot deny the essence of the weave and where they pull their magic from. That would just be silly. They
John,
recognize it's there. I don't know. Yours is just talking, and what she says has to be true, right, John? I don't know.
That's true.
Yep.
Hell
Is-
yeah. See?
Is there a god or goddess of like magic or fate? Because isn't
Well-
Evrand?
Yeah. So Avandra, let me look at my deities.
That was a crackly. that was wild. That was crisp.
One of the fish jumped out of the water.
I thought you said they didn't serve seafood here.
Got him.
By the way, this whole conversation you guys are having are trying to not laugh as these little goldfish are like just
Not when
nibbling
They're
at your feet.
goldfish?
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I had
They're
legitimately
like koi
written.
and goldfish and other ones.
I had written in the chat, Gak is giggling because the fish are tickling his feet, and then I erased it because I didn't want to distract him. That absolutely happened.
Corellin. Corellin is the god of light and magic. Corellian.
That's how we say it in Joe's world, or at least how I've been saying it.
Yeah.
As a
It's
cleric. I could be absolutely wrong.
Corellon.
And I've never, I don't have a horse in that race. So you say it however you want to say it.
Well,
How do we say it in Everin, John?
Yeah.
Corleone.
Don Corleone. That means when you share art, it has to be like Al Pacino or whoever.
Yeah. Corellin. Corellin is the god of light and magic, and the god of fate is technically the Raven Queen.
Okay. All right. So we got no connection to Corellin, but fate in the bag. We got her daughter. You're being a reference, Basil. Like, what's that called?
Ruby.
A witness. That's the
That's great.
I'm sorry, Your
And-
Honor. I did not vibe with the way fate was going. So I will not be subscribing.
And what I will say is if they provide a counter argument saying that, well, fate is that you should have died, not fate is that you should have been here, I have a feeling they may have some problems with Evandra. I've read before that one of her central tenets is change is inevitable, but it takes the work of the faithful to ensure that the change is for the better. You might be going against the grain. You might be breaking your destined fate in this moment, but could be for a good cause, which it is.
Saving the world is a great cause.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay. I think we can bullshit our way through this,
Now-
guys.
Well, I don't
I
think
will
it's
say,
bullshit. I
mean, yeah, I believe
think it's
it
all
too,
pretty good
so-
I love our
arguments.
confidence, and I would love to continue forward. I just cannot stress enough that Enid, they may come to you, and someone may offer you something, and you just must continue to say no. And their offers and their bribes, they may not be. They may be said in a way where it doesn't sound like you are being offered anything, and you may accept something that you may not realize you've walked into.
Mm.
I know that seems silly, and I sound like a record that is broken, but I just can't stress enough how the moment you let your guard down and the moment you think that you have it all figured out, they will change the question that you have an answer to.
Okay.
It
All right.
might not be a bad idea, Enid, to perhaps, I mean, there's a temple to Evandra here. You might be able to find somebody who can read you or commune there to see if you are out of place, if you are straying from your fate. And so that way, whenever we go into the Moon Court to make this argument, we know where we're arguing from. That way we come in knowing exactly what argument and what points we're trying to make, as opposed to just coming in hoping and then pivoting might make our argument seem stronger.
I can also commune with my own and different deities if we want to use that as a backup or something. I can ask
Okay.
them questions. It's not as easy as going to have your, I don't know what they do, their palms read or whatever, but I can ask them directly, and we'll need to be specific about the questions, but we'd at least get, hopefully, no unclear answers.
Well, we can start at the temple of Evandra that Rian mentioned, and we can always go from there if we're not able to get anything. So,
Yes.
this is great. Wow, you guys have given me so much to work with, and I had literally empty brain nothing. So, I know we. And did you guys bring up the guy that we're gonna be like fill us in about the guy that we need to go find?
Yes.
I
Yeah,
think
we
that
haven't said
probably-
anything yet, but yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
we're probably
I
about
guess-
to.
We were going to.
Yeah.
Do we want to just say you do?
Blah.
Or
Yeah.
do you actually want to? Okay. Because then Eden will offer, okay, well, maybe I can really quickly run to the temple, or maybe we can all go there, just do a quick little stop in, and then head and go find this person in. Because that's not too far. Oh, it's just over the bridge. Oh, look at that. Yeah. As she's looking at a map, apparently.
I'll go with you.
Okay. I guess we can go and then meet up with you guys, or do you guys want to come and then we go find the guy? I don't know how we want to do this.
I think we can all go to the temple together and then had to look for the individual. I think it's better if we look for the individual together.
I think
I
so
agree.
too.
Yes.
All right, time to find out if I'm not where I'm supposed to be. That's great. Was there anything else that we needed to talk about at the inn?
No.
I got
I
nothing.
think if we all start leaving, Gak's gonna like whisper in Enid's ear and go,
I think you're where you're supposed to be.
Me too. Think.
Okay.
Palm sweaty.
He's weak.
Yeah.
Mom
So-
spaghetti.
As you leave the tavern, where are you guys headed?
The Avandra Temple?
Of
The Temple of
Avandra.
Avandra.
But I think we're going through the Undercommons as we're going, right?
I think we're gonna go there after.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay. Mubby.
well, the guy's not in the Undercommons. He's in the Stormsire.
Oh, that's right.
They ran
Mhm.
through the Undercommons, and then he flew up the
And-
wall.
And then got to this Stormsire.
yeah.
Yeah, so we're gonna go to the temple, see if they can read Enid, to see if she's on her destined path, and then we go to Stormsire. Stormsire.
And
Stormsire.
Gak will use a Seeker Stone to let Gideon know.
As you walk through and walk towards Lux Run, the section of the city for Avandra, you send the message to Gideon, and he does reply and says, "Okay, I'll meet you there. I'm done here anyways." And you head towards the Temple of Avandra. Along the way, Gideon does meet up with the party. He is back with the party. You can see he has on the back of his cloak those wings that he got from the corpse of the devil form of Izirin are almost like a pattern on the back of his cloak now.
Ooh.
They have a little bit of raise to them as well, but we'll get into that later.
That's cool.
But as you get to the temple, you see the temple itself is a large, it almost seems to be like a decadent, ornate adventurer's guild. Avandra, the change bringer and goddess of adventure and change. You can see that it was kind of woven this way. Large marble structure with blue and gold roofs. There are many fountains and gardens that lead to this temple. You see inside the clergy are wearing these white and gold robes that have colors of almost like the rainbow of pink and oranges and blues, all in where the whites would be. They look towards, I guess you find one of the clerics, and they say, "Hello, welcome to the Temple of Avandra. How may I help you?"
Hi. So I have a very interesting request, and I don't know if this is something you guys are even able to do. But so there's just been some questions in my life that I would like to have answered. I just don't know if I'm on the path that I should be on, because I know a big change happened in this. I know Vandra's like the goddess of change, so I don't know if it was change that was supposed to happen or bad change. You know, like, ooh, you were supposed to be on a different path in your life. I guess I just don't know if I'm on the right path. Yeah.
A lot of us ask that question. May I ask, did this large change, how do you feel about it?
Well, I'm not dead. So pretty good.
Do you think it changed your life for better or worse?
My life for the better, but someone else's for the worse.
Sometimes the changes that we face are some things that others do not enjoy. But the changes that we face bring us more opportunities and a better life. If you feel that this change that you have gone through has been better for you, do you not think you are on the right path?
It's a little bit more complicated than that. So, Faye interceded for me when I was supposed to die.
You see that the cleric is. She goes,
So it's not like, obviously I enjoy that, right? But this Faye is now in trouble because they were not supposed to do that. I was supposed to die. So, and so were they. It was like a combined, if I die, they die. So, anyway, do you know about moon elves?
you see that she looks towards the statue of Avandra. Change. As though there's a change in her life happening right now. As she looks to you and goes, I'm not familiar with
That
how moon elves work. I'm familiar with them.
right. It's a yeah. Anyway, I'm not looking for guidance, I guess, necessarily for myself, because if it were just up to me, I would be fine to just keep going on every day doing what I should. But I guess I'm trying to help this person that interceded for me because I feel indebted to them for my life. And now that their life is ruined, I just, in order to try and help fix them, I just need to know if I'm destined to be here still, or if I was destined to be gone. Does this make sense?
I believe I am following.
Okay, so I don't.
Avandra is not the goddess of destiny and fate.
But
That-
change.
But change. The goddess of destiny and fate is that of the Raven Queen, but Avandra is the goddess of embracing change and luck and adventure and freedom. If you are experiencing this change that is good for you, but bad for the other, is there a way you can think of using that change to aid them? That is one of Avandra's tenets. Aid the less fortunate.
Okay. I mean, yeah, I can think. I'm trying to help them, so I guess we were just hoping maybe Avandra could. I didn't know. Brienne, this isn't working.
I think Rian would laugh, and he would say, well, when your relationship with a god isn't nearly as close as others within our group, it might be a little more difficult. I think what Enid is hoping to find out is there a way for either you as a cleric of Avandra or for her to commune with Avandra herself to learn if she is on this path because of this change of fate in a negative or positive way. Is this something that is negatively impacting the I forget what I said earlier that was a good point, but now I'm fucking.
Our friend, you're supposed to step in.
Thanks.
Our friend is
My brain
simply
doesn't work,
looking to
sorry.
see if she is out of place, out of time, if she has somehow created a change that is not so much for the better, a wrinkle in time that should not be. That is all. Perhaps that is not a question that you can answer, but I think some reassurance that she is on the right path is really what we're looking for.
Follow me. And she gestures for you to follow. And she leads you over to a table.
and you see that she pulls out a couple of components. Basil, you would kind of pick up on the potential spell she is going to be using,
Mm-hmm.
but normally the spell uses cards and sticks and stones and bones.
Mm-hmm.
You can see instead she picks up coins and keys, and some cards and some game pieces that she places onto the table. And she starts to cast the spell Augury.
Would she be cool if like I aided her? Do you think? Because I could be like, I've done this before. Like maybe two of us is stronger than one, without offending her in a way that doesn't offend her.
I would say, as a fellow cleric, if you feel that if you aided in a spell that you were doing in this nature, it would be like, okay, why are you stepping on my toes?
Okay, I won't say anything then. Basil will just give Enid a look, being like, if this doesn't work out, we'll try later.
She asks you, state your question.
Oh my gosh. Evrand, was the change that Moon made to intercede for my life when I was supposed to die one that was supposed to happen?
As you finish the sentence, you see the objects light up. Her eyes kind of turn this gold color. As her eyes return, she says, wheel, which stands for good results.
Okay. All right.
You guys
that's
have literally found a fortune teller. You're
Okay, great. Good. Okay, this is a great start. Okay, so we have that going for us. Thank you so much. And she's like shakes her like with like hands on shoulder kind of thing, maybe too much. And she's gonna whip around to everybody else. That's great, right? So one goddess on our behalf, racking up our list.
Let's go ask the other ones.
Yeah. After Stormshire.
Oh, we're not going to the other ones? Okay, cool. I'm back.
I mean,
Gak's gonna walk up to the fortune teller and say, "Thank you so much for helping, friend."
They're a cleric.
It's a fortune teller.
That will be 20 gold pieces.
I like your crystal ball. I got one too.
So, you leave out of the temple with a question answered in a way. You head towards. Oh my god! I just realized the tavern music has still been on. What the fuck? Why did no one
really
say
felt
it?
like a fortune teller.
I thought
in
it was
that way.
a lively temple.
Okay. So, you head from the Temple of Evrand out of Lux Run into Stormsire. What are we looking for?
Looking for that bitch.
Yeah.
Sorry.
All right,
I'm
that bitch. All right.
busy right now.
I think that Gak's just gonna tell everyone as we're walking by to see if anyone is talking about someone that's using wind powers. But do we know that Cord's cage is here? Like, were we told anything about it from Sabian?
No. I mean, no, you don't know about that it's there. You know, you know of Cord's cage. It is definitely a place that's talked about the most. When you were in the tavern, you heard about it quite often. People were talking about going to the next show, and it's a test of skill and strength and honor and valor. It's a huge deal. And you can even hear the crowd cheering in the background. But make a perception check.
Okay.
And anybody else who wants to try to listen in or find anything,
Yeah.
you can make a perception check.
14. And I
Okay.
think that Gak is also going to tell people.
There's like a thing that's a test of skill, and I feel like this guy might be a little too show-offy with his powers. Maybe he's there.
It's not a bad idea. Think we could check it out?
But let's listen in on people first.
Let's be nosy.
I think that's a good train of thought, though, Gak.
Thank you.
Oh wait, that's not the right one.
Intense
Never mind.
noises.
It was supposed to be a crowd cheering, but I guess not.
Just a buzzing.
So with the 22, Brienne, also Enid. Honestly, Gak, you're probably the only one who doesn't like kind of pick up on this. Brienne and Enid, you would see somebody nearby as you're kind of walking in through the bridge. Looks to be kind of picking up things that have fallen onto the ground, that were kind of a little bit in the center of the street. It looks like they're just now kind of finishing picking stuff up. So you kind of get a glance of like there was a disturbance in this area. Yursa, with your 22 perception, you can see that some of the tops of the buildings as you're kind of walking by, some of the shingles are slightly pushed back from where they should be, as though a gust of wind picked them up. And you can see that they kind of go off in this direction.
Yeah, Ursa will not say anything out loud, but kind of whoever's next to her just gesture up and point, and then head the direction, like following the rooftops where any of the shingles look displaced, just on the ground, of course. Yeah.
Okay. You continue through. So you do hear some commotion by some of the nearby individuals kind of talking to each other. One of them says, "They really need to catch that guy. This is the second time in the last week he's done this. We have to keep repairing everything." And the other individual talking says, "What are they calling him now? The Breeze Bandit? Such a horrible name."
Go ahead, Jack.
Oh, I was just gonna say, if there are any guards nearby, Gak just keeps walking up to them and pretending he's not listening.
There are
That-
no guards in
that's his
this area.
chance.
Yeah, there are no guards in this area. You could have done it on the road, but yeah. So you continue walking down.
Mm-hmm.
So you can see that there is, like, as you're walking through here, and those with a higher perception, passive perception of 14 now, you can see that there are parts of the road that looks like there are straight lines of debris that have been moved to either side, left and right, where a gust of wind has come through here and kind of moved it. And then you eventually start seeing where there's dust and dirt. You can actually start seeing very faintly, Yursa with your passive, with your perception of 22, and Gak with your passive, like footprints. But you can see that the footprints are not exact. They are as though when someone put their foot down, there was a small burst of air that kind of pushed the dirt around. So it's like a blurry footprint on the ground. But you continue on, and you can hear in the distance the Cord's Cage. You can hear the crowd cheering. The horns you can hear in the distance sounding off as though the next round of Cord's Cage has started. but you keep continuing down this path.
As we're walking, Gak goes, "Guys, I have an idea.
Mm-hmm.
If we feel like we're close to this guy, maybe we should like put some nice stuff out that he'd want to steal and see if he like, I don't know, tries to steal, and we can like trap him or something."
We could do that. That is an option.
I like it.
'Cause I
What
feel
kind
like
of-
he'll just run away if he knows we're trying to find him.
What kind of nice things do we want to put out? Do we need to buy them and then set them down
I don't know. We got a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
that we've brought or back in the keep?
Oh, I got my bag.
That is true. You have a lot of shit in your bag.
We keep all our stuff in my bag for some reason.
Or just having a coin purse that's really easy to snatch and grab.
I mean, heck, we could even have it filled with a bunch of like heavy pebbles, so it looks like it's really full, so that you like, you know, but it's not actually full of anything. It just looks like it.
We could put a few gold pieces around it and one sticking out of the top just for embellishments.
Yeah, I like this. We're gonna pronk this guy.
I mean, yours also has hold person.
Amazing.
Yeah, we'll get him close. And then
At this
keep him
point,
holding.
all of you, as you were talking here, and you see in the distance what looks like some dirt and shingles get picked up, and a gust of wind into the air, and you see just faint glimpse of this individual, like arch through the air, and like jettison himself forward and then disappear
What direction did he go?
this
Was it-
direction.
Okay, so he's just
I'd say you guys are like right here.
going in a little circle, jumping around.
Let's follow.
I mean, that's a little obnoxious, don't you think? Like,
As you you continue following, and are you picking up the pace, or are you kind of just normal pace?
I don't think we want to make it obvious, but I think we should like
Well-
keep up.
Okay, urchin, that's my background. So guess what, folks? We speeding through these alleyways, but
Oh, no.
not. We take the secret route so we can be fast and in the shadows. This is
Oh,
a
yeah.
this is a feature for that background, and I
Mhm.
can't believe I'm using it and remember it.
Backgrounds.
Background.
Yay!
So
The
we
best
fast,
thing about D&D
yeah.
is backgrounds.
boy.
Oh.
Yes.
Perfect.
Let's go. Fast and
Go.
sneaky.
Dun, 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 dun.
I'm not gonna play this. It's gonna get muted for the stream.
Damn.
But I am going to play this song.
Spicy still.
So yeah, similar vibes. Less goofy.
Bum bum bim bum bum bum.
So, you start. Remind me what the background does again.
So basically, we can move, I think, faster through cities.
Okay.
Specifically.
Wait, do we all have to make like stealth checks, or is that
If you're
group?
trying to be stealthy and kind of sneak up on this guy, you're gonna have to. Yes.
Features?
Can we do a class curve for those of us who fail the test?
I mean, it's usually a group check, so yes.
Okay.
But sorry, I'm looking for the one that's like
I will
specifically
guidance.
background traits on my in here. Basically, yeah, we move quicker to our location. Why can I not find my background?
So a natural one is 2 fails.
Oh shit! Alrighty, sorry. Let me roll. Is this a stealth check? Is that what it was?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, I still have the guidance from Yursa.
That's right. I have guidance.
Do
Can
it
I use
again.
That guidance.
It's still a critical fail.
Right, but isn't guidance advantage?
No, it's
No.
only +4, honey.
Oh,
Only +4. but it's
Yeah.
okay.
The group
Gak,
did well.
you trip and fall over your cloak at the exact moment that there's a large uproar in Cord's cage. No one hears it because
thank
everyone
God.
else made a good enough stealth check. As you start
Jack does a
kind of
somersault.
This is too much too. What the fuck?
I was
don't know
vibing.
music. Yeah, I know, but I wasn't.
Okay.
Well,
No,
yeah,
let's just
I
go
don't
back
know
to
about
this.
that.
No. Damn, I don't know what to do now with my hands. Let's just fuck it. Okay, whatever. You
We resume the chase after Gak gets up.
yeah, it was a little moment. So you continue running or just quickly walking?
You know how in Baldur's Gate, when you dash, but
Hmm.
Astarion is still sneaking, but you're going twice the movement? I think we're like speed, or even like in Hogwarts Legacy when you are, you know.
Yeah,
We're doing the
The fast walk.
Astarian crouch to Naruto run.
Yeah, the fast crouch in the shadows.
Okay. So you continue running through, but in the shadows, through the Stormsire district as you hear another gust of wind, and then what sounds like the shattering of glass up ahead, about 120 feet. As you continue on, you see, kind of going around the corner, you see this individual kind of come out of what looks to be a store. You can see that he has almost like a leather trench coat jacket on, with a hat on his head, and he's relatively short, probably about 4.5, 5 feet tall. As he goes out of the store, looks around, and then takes off. You can see himself propel himself forward with wind.
God.
Is it obvious that like he literally like broke in somewhere and stole something?
Mhm.
Or that's the vibes we're getting.
Mhm.
Can Ursa see him?
He's about 120 feet away.
I need to be in 60 feet. I'm running.
If you hold person someone while they're in the air, what does that do?
We're gonna
It's like
find out today,
it's like
boys.
an immovable object. They're just like, no. They would fall.
Yeah.
So you continue on. You continue. Make one more stealth check.
Stealth.
All of us, yeah.
27. 27.
27.
6. 8. No!
But I have guidance.
Me too. But
Basil! Stealth.
It's not going.
No. Stealth. No, Basil! No!
Man.
we're kind of loud at this point.
Guidance, awesome. Jack's doing more somersaults on purpose now.
So you continue on. However, as you're running through, you're keeping pace. You're kind of catching up, but eventually, Basil, you trip over one of the nearby boxes that was kind of pushed into the walkway from the gust of wind. As you trip over, fall into the ground, you see the individual look back towards all of you, and you just hear, "Shit!" And he just
Wait,
takes
how
off
far is he from us at this point?
70 feet.
Great, I'm gonna cast
Okay.
Vortex Warp. That's 90 feet, baby. Hey. Oh wait, that didn't do the way I wanted it to. Display.
Okay, where are you vortex warping?
I'm Vortex Warping him to us.
Oh, oh.
Yeah.
There's a success, right? And he needs to make
A
something.
yeah, a Constitution saving throw, and the DC's 19.
If this fails, I want to do a thing.
All you, girly.
You rolled a 20 total.
Do your thing, girl.
Okay, I would either like to, let's see, how far is my teleport thing? Boop, 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 boop. I need to look at where it is. I wasn't ready. I'm sorry, I wasn't ready. Teleport. Where the heck is teleport? bonus actions. Okay. My teleport could go, I think, just as far as my blade could throw. And
Can we get a good look at him while this is happening?
Get a what?
A good look at him while this is happening, just so we know. That way we can, like, if he gets away, we at least know what he looks like at this point.
Yeah, you can see him. He is wearing, like I said, a leather trench coat. He has a bag over his shoulder. He has very long, pointy ears and scraggly brown curly hair. His face looks young. He looks very young, probably like early 20s. And he has like this grayish green, almost bowler hat on. And he is a halfling.
Okay.
Bowler hat
I would
guy.
like to teleport with my dagger, which I can throw 60 feet, and then if I'm not close enough at that point just to run and tackle him, I'd like to dash and then do that as my action. So it's like bonus action throw. I'm trying to tackle him.
All right, you throw, you teleport in front of him. You see him stop as he tries to turn, and he points his hands towards the ground to use a gust of wind to push him forward. Go ahead and try to tackle him. Use a do an acrobatics check.
That's what I want to hear, baby. Yeah. We want acrobatic.
Do some flippy dippy trippy shit.
Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna add, just in case, because he's a Rift Warden, I'm gonna add my little psionic
He might not know he's a Rift Warden.
I know, but he might be too fast kind of shit.
I'm with you.
So, because Enid knows that. So I'd like to roll a d8 and add that with my psionic blade thing.
Okay.
I don't know if I have to roll it before or after knowing I failed, but I'm doing it anyway. There we go. That's my number now.
28.
You somersault around and use your feet to trip him onto the ground, and then get on top and place your dagger towards him. At this point, he's on the ground. You see his bag is next to him. You see him go, all right. It's I'm not moving. You're fine. Please don't kill me. Please.
Oh, we're not killing you. Just stay put till my friends arrive.
Yeah, no.
All right.
Run up. All right.
I need to cast Hold Person.
No.
I think he's staying put, but I'm not getting up quite yet.
Everything is fine. Please. I'm not going to try to run.
You're going
promise.
to need your name immediately.
So, just first things first, I promise that we don't mean you any harm. I understand with a dagger to your throat that might seem contrary, but we don't want to hurt you. We just need some information about what you're doing. We're not with the law.
But we can hurt you.
But we will not, provided you don't do anything to hurt us.
We can, though.
You guys isn't with the gods?
No, we don't want anything that you stole either. That's I mean, you should return it because it's not nice to steal things, but
Are you with the Brokah?
Don't know
We-
who that is.
no.
Our own group.
No, we're from
Then
Afira.
we're friends. If you let me up, I'd tell you
No,
everything.
That's not how friends are made.
He's around here.
Well, we're
Well-
not from here.
You're going to stay there for now until we get what we need to, okay? I promise we won't hurt you.
All right. First off, name's Finnegan.
Finnegan,
And
do you have a last
you see
name?
this. Yeah, Tapfoot.
Chopfoot.
Tapfoot.
Tapfoot.
Tapfoot. Apologies. Tapfoot.
Is that your real name?
Yeah, it's my real name.
Mhm. Do I believe he's telling the Do I believe he's telling the truth?
Inside check.
Aw, what a
Thank you.
little-
I will.
I know.
I will assist. Can I assist? Okay, I think Rian will know anyway.
Brianna, it looks like he's telling the truth.
Okay.
That
Or
seems
he's a
so
really good
fake.
liar.
But I think he's telling the truth. Finnegan Tapfoot, are you from Siri?
Well, not originally, not from Siri, but I moved here years ago.
Where are you from? The Bronx? What's going on?
Yeah, where are you from?
The Undercompton.
Straight out of the Undercompton.
Your voice is really weird.
Heck, you guys have kind of the same accent, actually. It's pretty close.
That's crazy. I don't know what
I'm
you're talking about.
I'm originally from like a northern part of Valamine.
Like what part?
You want a map to look at? Oh.
Hold on. That was weird.
Hmm.
Sorry. There was like a weird sound. I didn't. Anyways. He goes
Like Newald?
around there.
Everything you say sounds like a lie, but I can't help but believe it.
I just
we
I
have
want
a
you to
little
tell me
problem.
where you're from.
We just need to know what you know about rifts.
You're gonna have to be more specific.
Okay.
That answers our question. What do
How
you
long
know
have you
about
been doing all the jumping around with wind and stuff? And when did that happen?
Are you sure you're not with the gods?
No.
You're
Do
not
I
with the
look
law at
like-
all.
No.
No. Can Yursa tell with her
It's
staff
right.
if he is like he does have a connection to a rift?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, this poor kid.
The little stone that you have
Yeah.
is a slight hum.
Okay, I figured.
It's jostling around.
He goes, right, you don't look like you're with the gods. Look, I've been here for a couple years. I recently got these a couple weeks ago, maybe a little less than a couple weeks.
Where were you when you got them?
So that's the thing. I was kind of out in the. You guys
sea
know
of
where the Sea of the Dying. Yes,
Yeah.
that's the one. I was out there, but not because I wanted to be. I was taken out there. It's a long story, but I was left out there to die
Okay.
by the Brokah's people.
Mm.
I got in
lucky
bad with
for
some
you.
people, and it's kind of a thing they do with their little club or whatever. They just into people they want to off. They just take them out to the Sea of the Dying, leave them there with no food, put some shackles around the, hopefully they get eaten by a worm or something.
Makes sense.
Mm-hmm. How big are the worms?
Oh, ginormous.
Are they?
Yursa, are you able to do your thing now, or do we have to bring him anywhere?
What thing?
Well, I suppose we could do it here.
Wait, hold on. I'm not consenting to anything. We're not doing anything right here.
Okay.
How much money do you owe to the brokers?
Lots.
Okay, you really like not answering things, don't you?
I'm answering. I don't know the exact
Specifically,
number. I just
you
know
don't.
it's in the thousands.
And you don't know the exact place you live either. I got you.
Well, I don't really live one place. I kind of just go from
No, I
place to
relate to
where
place.
you
that.
grew up.
That's a valid answer.
Oh no, yeah, I grew up in Newald.
That's what I asked.
I'm sorry.
Everyone sees Gak getting frustrated.
Gak,
That's-
take
I
a
asked
step
that
back.
question.
Take a step back. Take a breath, okay?
You don't want to see us when we're angry.
You especially don't want to see him when he's angry.
Please don't get angry, all right?
Okay. Finnegan, I think you should sit down because what we are going to say.
I think
Pretty
Enid
lame.
is still
Yeah.
with the dagger, like hasn't been.
Well, you're just going to say that anyway. You should sit down because what we're going to say is going to be probably very shocking to you.
All right, can I just lay here?
Yes, that works fine.
All right.
So, when you were out in the Sea of the Dying for your very mysterious purposes,
No, I was taken out there to be off.
No,
to
we
be
get
killed.
that. Let her
Right.
continue.
Sorry.
We get it.
Nope.
right, when you were taken to be, yeah, that, You were witness to a rift opening. A rift is this dimensional crack in the material plane that goes into another dimension. Okay, are you following? And so it seems as though that dimension, that realm, has imbued its magic onto you, and it making you what I would call a rift warden. But I think this is unbeknownst to you. I am a rift warden of the Feywild, and so I pull my magic from the Feywild. Your little air tricks that you are pulling seem to be coming from the plane of air, and I don't think you quite understand that.
I don't think he quite understood a lot of what you said.
You know, when I was out there was this giant tornado just
you know, okay, all right. Here's what's gonna happen. Here's what's gonna happen.
Know about that.
Your air powers, I'm sure you love them. But what's going to happen now
Absolutely.
is we're going to take them away from you because it's dangerous for you to have them.
Wait,
Because
no.
Listen, quiet. Listen to me. You know how when you have a pair of pants or a vest or a shirt you like, and you wear it a lot, and the fabrics rub together, and eventually
Tugs on his jacket.
there's a tiny, that hole right there. See how that hole is so small? All I need to do to ruin this jacket, and Rian's just going to grab a little thread, and he's just going to start to pull, I just need to pull the thread.
No, stop.
And
stop,
then the
stop.
whole thing will start to unravel. You with these powers,
We can mend it, dumbass. Just listen.
you are unraveling the very pattern that keeps the world together, okay? You have way too much power than what you should truthfully ever have. I'm very sorry to say that, but we're going to take them away from you. I'm personally going to give you 1,000 gold. That's not enough to pay your debt, but you have to do a little bit of the heavy lifting,
Sell
okay?
some of the stuff you stole. And then
Wait,
you'll
hold
do
on,
it.
hold on.
You can
Before
also
do
get a
whatever
job.
whatever you're saying you're gonna do, which I'm still not following the whole thing. But
Why am I not surprised?
Okay, I have a
Rian,
question.
Okay, everyone, I think we
Stop.
should just all breathe. Enid,
I
your
think we
question.
should beat the hell out of this guy.
Felicity has a question for
Okay,
the
Wilson,
DM.
go ahead. God damn.
I have
Does
had
this
my
bit-
grade.
John, how many hit points does this bitch have?
Oh my.
Not like gauging. It can't
Bro,
have a
this
lot.
guy's a normal NPC with
Yeah,
wind
okay.
powers.
Enid's going to cover his eyes and cast sleep on him.
Before you do that, he goes, "Look, I can take you there."
Oh,
You're so
Okay.
go. Come on.
oh, okay, we're doing this right now.
Yes.
Might as well.
Rian's gonna start counting. He's gonna.
Oh.
Rian's. He was gonna count to 1,000, and then he hears the snore, and he's like, "That's so fucking annoying." And he's gonna count to 100, and he's gonna put 100 gold. down.
Okay, you're just going to use her staff
99
to
gold.
take away his connection to the rift.
This is gonna kill him. It's gonna kill him.
Oh God, no, she's not trying to.
I just-
John said
Okay.
I can do
I
it
mean,
without murder. You
One
can
less
do it.
menace. One less menace.
Well, he's
All right.
innocent. He's just a little
What
kid.
does-
Revivify.
What does the staff say? Can you post it in chat?
Yes, hold on. Okay. Oh my God, let me do this fast. Jesus.
98 gold.
Okay, breaking the
Brienne-
tether. Using an action, you can channel the arcane power of the staff to break the connection between a person and their rift, which keeps it open. The unwilling creature must make a DC 18 Constitution saving throw. If they fail, their tether or their connection to the rift is destroyed. If the creature succeeds, however, they are immune to the effects of the spell for 24 hours. So we would have to fucking wait 24 hours. with this guy to try
Please,
again.
God!
Well,
18.
he's asleep. Disadvantage.
But
That doesn't affect the
Oh, wait,
but
Constitution
I
doesn't-
saving.
it doesn't affect
use-
Constitution.
Hold on. But I can. Wait, when casting the spell, you may use any number of charges to increase the DC by number expanded. So I'm gonna go ahead
Oh my god.
and I'm going to. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 7 charges. Oh, that'll explode. I have 6
This guy
charges.
natural 20s.
But just imagine if we get more of this guy. Like, I don't think you should use any charges.
I'll
Alright, I'm
use
gonna
2
roll.
charges. I'll use 2 charges to raise it to 20.
Well, what's the distance from origin damage? What does that mean?
Where do you see that at?
It's
Oh,
at
that's,
the bottom.
That's
Oh,
when the
that's
staff
if my
explodes.
staff explodes.
Okay, gotcha.
But
Alexa,
that was
stop.
11. Yay!
Yay.
Yursa, you look down at this guy, look at your party, place the staff down. It's unfortunate that this is the first time you're using this ability. And as you channel, you all see this arcane power around Yursa. Your hair gets lifted up, and you see that there's this almost like vacuum. You watch Finnegan, who is on the ground, this invisible tether start to turn transparent, as you can see this like purple and pink and blue arcane string attached to him. And you can see that around it is this gust of wind, the element that he's pulling from this plane. As the tether goes past all of you into the distance, this is the wrong music for this.
It was the perfect music for him, though.
It was great.
Yeah. I don't know. Oh, you know what? I'm dummy. As you see this tether that goes past all of you into the distance, it starts to break apart and then get sucked into the staff. Yursa, as you stand there with the staff, you watch as this tether is cracked almost like glass. One end breaks off and just immediately disappears as the other end gets sucked into the staff itself. And with that, you feel this power course through you. And there is a sound. You look up and you see lightning through the sky. Thunder. And then it subsides. This was exactly what you felt last time when one of the tethers were destroyed. And
But
you hear the
remind me,
wind.
John, because we still have to go. We have to destroy both sides, though, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay.
By the way, sleep lasts for a minute.
Yeah, so he wakes up probably right after she's done.
Oh, I'm still here.
Morning sunshine, and then she'll get up off him.
Oh, thank you. See you later. And he goes to use his powers. Wait, what happened?
We told you we were.
You have something to tell us?
Here is your money. It was great meeting you.
He opens his bag.
It wasn't.
I hope that if our paths cross again, you've turned your life around. And he'll kind of clap his hand, and then Rian's going to turn and start to walk away.
I feel like Gideon this whole time is just like fighting the urge to disintegrate this guy.
Also, Finnegan, get
Yeah?
a fucking job. She's gonna turn around and walk away.
Why would I need a job?
You're not special. You're just like everybody else. Get a paycheck.
Why don't you stop listening to me whispering to myself?
Maybe stop whispering to yourself. Think in your head. Smooth brain.
Turns around and you see him just start going like this and going, fuck. Damn it. And Finnegan, Tapfoot is gone. And with that, I feel like we're going to end tonight's session.
Woo!
Yes.
Thanks for joining us at the first session of the year of Tales of Evrand 2024.
Wow.
Yeah.
Ursa
Joe
is the
takes
John
out.
Travolta meme right now as both walk away.
Take us out, Joe.
Yeah, be sure to tune in to the Isles of Iverion this Saturday. Right, we're playing this Saturday, right?
I mean, I'll be there.
All right,
I'll be
cool. Okay, cool. So this Saturday for the Isles of Iverion, next Tuesday for sure for the Salamander Coast, and next Wednesday for the Tales of Evrand. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.